I'm not really concerned yet, because I know there's areas that we're getting better in. The transition defense was the area that I was really concerned about the last couple of games, and it showed. So those are things that we discussed this morning and yesterday, and things that we're trying to take advantage of.
So this is still all of the process?
No doubt about it. I mean, Jim, we've been doing this for 2 weeks. This group is still very new together. We still have a long way to go. Totally different coaching staff, totally different philosophy. So, I'm still real happy with the way our guys are playing right now.
Have you sat down with Kobe or Nash yet and said, here's how many games I want you to play during the season and blah, 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 and how many minutes and that type of thing?
Just sat down with Kobe and we talked about minutes. We don't even talk about games. He wants to play every game. He wants to play every preseason game. He wants to play every regular season game. So all we did is really just talked about the minute-wise, what he felt he was good at, what he could be good at, and what I kind of felt. So we came to an agreement on that, and we're happy about that. And you're not going to get told what it is, so don't even ask.
Can you update us on Steve Nash?
Steve today kind of hurt his back. He had a little bit of a setback. He was just kind of carrying some bags or something. He heard a twinge in his back, so probably a spasm. I don't know, to be honest with you, for sure. I had to talk to Gary a little bit more and talk to Steve, but he wasn't able to come out here and do anything today.
Update on Jeremy Lin?
Jeremy ran today. For the first time, did the suicides and things like that, so he's feeling pretty good. We'll see how he feels tomorrow morning.
You mentioned the transition defense. What were you able to clean up the past 2 days on that?
Well, the biggest thing is just our floor balance. Offensively, we're getting some bad floor balance. Shot goes up. We got guys crashing from three-point line, which you can't do, so we put in rules today, and really rules yesterday on what we want to do as far as getting back. So we want to have 2 guys back at all times, 2.5 at most times. 4 and 5 are the only guys that crash, but obviously if Boozer's shooting a jump shot, and the guy in the corner has to get back. So just little things that we had to clean up that I saw on tape that were very correctable.
I thought your half-court defense looked very good once you got back and you got turned. What are you liking about that?
Well, you know what, Dave? If you take a look at Golden State's points, they scored 48 points within 7 seconds or less. So that's transition defense and early offense. After that, basically, it was 60-something points. So our half-court defense was pretty good, to be honest with you, when they got set, when we had to guard them when they were set. Our transition defense was the thing that really killed us. So, again, we addressed it. We worked on it the last couple of days, and we'll see how we play tomorrow.
Did Xavier Henry knock off any more rest today?
No, I didn't do anything today. So I'm not saying he had a setback, but I think going all out yesterday, is probably a little sore and tender today. So we just kind of set him down. We'll see how he feels tomorrow as well.
Byron, how much of a concern is it these little things are starting to hit Nash, that he's starting to feel kind of not normal, now he tweaks the back? How much of a concern is that going forward?
Well, it's a concern because, from my standpoint, I got to kind of figure out if he's going to be able to play every day or not, or if he's going to be able to play every other game, or which games can he play. So, obviously, in the next couple of weeks, we got some time to come to a conclusion on how we're going to handle this whole situation.
So right now, is that completely up in the air?
Yeah, right now it is up in the air, and you just go with the guys that you have right now.
It sounds like he won't play Thursday. Is Sunday a possibility for him?
I have no idea because I don't know how severe the back is. I don't know how much it hurts or what type of, I don't know if it's a lower back or upper. I don't have no idea right now. I got to talk to Gary and find out.
Byron, these first 2 weeks of training, so how much of the offense has been faced in this far?
30%. We're not going to go a whole lot higher than that. We'll probably get to 40 by the time we start the season because, again, our emphasis on trying to really clean up a little, all the little things that we have to do better on the defensive end. Then we'll start putting in some more of the offensive sets.
How do you break down what you've liked so far, what you feel like needs to be sharpened with that?
On offense or on offense? Yeah. On offense, again, when we watch tape, when we run our stuff efficiently and we set screens and we have good space and we get good shots, it's just a matter of knocking those shots down. But when we get a little anxious, and guys start to itch in and creep in a little bit, coach knows what I'm talking about, then the spacing gets cluttered, and then the shots are tougher, because now you got guys right there, able to challenge those shots. So it's just a matter of us just keeping our patience and our spacings, and, we got to have hard cuts and good screens. If we do all those things in our offensive sets, we'll get good shots.
B, what has been the easiest thing this group collectively has digested in that offense you just talked about?
Well, basically just chin. Chin has been pretty easy, and I think same side for the first unit guys has been pretty easy because it's a lot like triangle. So the first unit has been able to really hone in on same side and chin pretty easily, where the second group has struggled. But today, for the first time, the second group ran it pretty well.
Early in the preseason, I know there were certain things you wanted to work on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be more of an emphasis on winning a game now? That you've been working on a few things already?
There's always emphasis on winning games, Jimmy. When you put a score board up there and you keep a score, to me, it's always emphasis on trying to win that game. But I'm not so hooked on that so much to kind of let everything else go out the window. There's still a lot of things we got to work on. There's still a lot of combinations I got to see. Still a lot of players I need to see. So I'm gonna still stick to the script and do what we've been doing. We have 5 games left, in the preseason, and 3 of those games are probably going to be games that we're just kind of throwing in guys and trying to see what they can do. And then the last 2 or 3, then we'll start going into a regular rotation.
Well, at your press conference, you talked so much about defense. I mean, almost every other phrase was about defense and improving defense. Are you seeing the effort, the intensity there necessary to improve it?
I'm seeing the effort and the intensity. It's just a matter of guys learning how to play with each other a little bit more. Communication has to be a lot better because there's a lot of things that you can script in practice. There's some things that happen that you can't script. And if your communication is great, then guys are able to kind of work themselves out of it. So you're going to hear me talking about defense all season long until our guys get to the point where they know that that's the main focus, of our team this year.
Is that turning out to be tougher than you thought it would be?
No, not at all. Not at all.
After watching last season, you knew there was a lot of work to do.
I knew we had some work to do.
Master of understanding.
Be a threefold question. First thing that comes to your mind, the good.
The good is the fact that the guys are the effort and they're trying their best, which I think is great. And their attention span is right there, and they want to do all the right things. So, from a collective standpoint, that's the good.
The bad.
The bad is the transition part. We have to do a better job as far as locating guys, picking them up, stopping the ball, and communicating.
Any ugly?
The ugly is just the fact that we do a pretty good job in the half-court setting, then we give up the easy buckets. On transition in early offense. That's kind of the ugly.